Hello again, everybody. You might be thinking to yourself, what is this disgusting piece of slop he's got sitting on the counter right now? Well, I'm going to tell you. This is part of our recipe today. This is beef tripe. This is the lining of the cow's second stomach. You can tell it's the second stomach by the honeycomb. You're probably thinking to yourself, disgusting. Well, let me tell you, prepared right, this is really delicious, and it's incredibly cheap. So, again, with my theme of showing you how to use some of the cheaper cuts of meat at the grocery store, let me show you what to do with this tripe. First, what I've done is I've sprinkled some rock salt on it, and I've taken this rag and just kind of ground the honeycomb structure in there with some of this rock salt. And from there, really easy, I'm going to boil this for about an hour. Alright, so now I've got it in the water to boil. I'm only going to boil this for about an hour because the butcher that prepares this parboils it to give it a little bit more tenderness. If this was not parboiled, I'd have to boil this for 4 to 5 hours in order to get it tender. But generally, if you buy beef tripe from the grocery store, it's already prepared like this one is, already been parboiled. All you got to do is boil it for about an hour to get it soft. And then what we're going to do is cut it into strips, and we're going to saute it with some perfect seasonings. And I think once you try it this way, you might be a convert. But who knows, you'll probably still just think it's disgusting. Alright, welcome back. Probably only been like, what, 2 seconds? Anyways, no, I've been cooking this tripe for about an hour. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take it out, cut it up. We're going to dredge it in some flour, some seasoned flour. And then I'm going to show you how to saute it. Alright, what you're doing here is you're taking this and you're going to try to cut off all the pieces that look like something you wouldn't want to eat. I guess at this point, this whole thing kind of looks like something you don't want to eat. But there's some fat in there and some strings on it. You kind of just want to cut off. You don't want to eat this. And also, there might be some fat in there, so when you're cutting this into strips, pay attention to where the fat is. You just want to cut it into strips about like this. Maybe 2.5, 3 inches long, about a ½ inch wide. Alright, so I've got it all cut up exactly how I want it. Now I've got my plain flour here. To that, I'm going to put in a little turmeric. About a teaspoon of turmeric, about a teaspoon of black pepper, about a teaspoon of salt. Alright, now we're just going to shake that up and mix it in. Oh, actually I forgot one thing. A little garlic powder in there too. Alright, so now all you're going to do is you're going to take your tripe pieces and you're going to throw it in there. And just let them all get coated with the seasoned flour mixture. Okay, those are all well coated. So I'm going to set those aside for a second. And behind me I have a pan with about a tablespoon of olive oil in there, warming up right now. So what I'm going to do is just cut up the other ingredients to have them ready. I'm going to take some red onion and just cut it into just small strips like this. 2 cloves of garlic. Just slice that up thin. And then come back across and just kind of give it a kind of a thick mince. Now I've got a little bit of cilantro here. I'm just going to cut that up. And I've got one of these dried red chilies from my garden here. I'm just going to break that up. And I also have one of my garden tomatoes. I'm just going to cut that into some nice big chunks to throw in there as well. Alright, so I've got everything ready to go. Let's get these into the oil. I'll show you what to do next. Alright, so now our oil's hot. I've separated the tripe out from the rest of the excess flour. So I'm just going to dump those in there. And we just want to saute these a little bit. You see what putting the turmeric in the flour did? Gave them a real nice color. You see that? That nice yellow on there? So we're just going to saute those a bit. About 2 minutes, and we're going to start adding other ingredients. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to add to that is my slivered garlic and my red pepper. We're just going to stir that in. Make sure it gets nicely mixed in there. Okay, now that that's mixed in there, you're going to go ahead and toss in your onion. And now this you're going to saute for about 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, once your onions start to look a little bit translucent, you're going to add your tomato. Stir those in really well. You basically just want these tomatoes to pick up some of the flavors that are already in the pan here. And to cook through. Alright, now to finish this off, you're going to put about a teaspoon of red wine vinegar in there. And once that's stirred in, you're going to finish it off with your cilantro. You can turn the heat off now and just stir this in. And let the residual heat kind of wilt that cilantro. At this point you can add salt and pepper. Let's get this on a plate and take a look at it. It looks pretty good in the pan. There you go. That's what we're looking like when we're all set. You know, this is a pretty horrific ingredient, I'll agree. But look at it now. It actually looks like a respectable, fancy dish. So what I'll ask you to do is at least give this a try. I don't care if you make this and throw this entire plate in the garbage, you know. This only costs $1.50. So give this a shot. The only reason you don't want to try it right now is about 50 years of, well, your brain telling you that you're better than this. But prior to 50 years ago, people were eating this stuff like it was a prime rib. So just give it a try. Maybe open your eyes to something new. I'm going to go enjoy this myself, and I really hope you'll do the same. Check out the recipe at www.ryankarcher.com. Thanks for watching.